Hi everyone, my name is Jade Calver. I own and operate Calver Immigration Consulting Inc. We're a full-service immigration firm located in Ontario, Canada. Today I'll be talking about how you can immigrate to Canada from India in 2022. So a few tips, a lot of questions that I get is, how can I immigrate to Canada next year? I'm from India. What are the best solutions for me to come to Canada? So there are many programs that are available for those wishing to come to Canada, but which program is right for you will really depend on your unique situation and what you'd like to do when you come to Canada and what resources you have available. One of the top questions that I get is, can I immigrate to Canada without a job offer? So the answer is yes. So Express Entry, which is our online immigration system, is probably the best bet for you in this scenario. So this is a points-based system where you're given points for age, language level, your level of education, and your work experience. And you put yourself into a pool of candidates, and those with the highest scores are invited to apply. I recommend that you do a quick CRF score and see if you're going to be scoring in the mid to high 400s. Anything under the 400s, I probably wouldn't recommend that you try for Express Entry. The reason being is that the provinces as well as the federal government will go in and invite candidates who have the highest scores in the pool of Express Entry candidates. So if you're under 400, we usually see that those with under 400 points don't usually see an invitation to apply. A great solution to overcome a low CRS score or just to get here faster is to come to Canada first on a temporary permit. So one of the temporary permits, which is really popular amongst Indian nationals, is a study permit. So in order to get a study permit, you need to apply for acceptance to a Canadian college or university. I will note that a lot of my Indian students, because they've already done an undergraduate, they'll usually opt for a postgraduate certificate at a college, usually because it's cheaper. But I also say look at university programs as well. There are some great options at Canadian universities. And you do get a study permit for a little bit longer, which can be a great way to make connections and get established in Canada while you're still here on a study permit. The study permit then allows you to get an open work permit, which is called a postgraduate work permit, which is a great way for you to come to Canada and then eventually transition to permanent residency. The second option for temporary residence is through a work permit. So most work permits in Canada will need to be supported by a job offer. So that's where a Canadian employer will give you a job offer, usually supported by what's called a labor market impact assessment. And then once we've filed for your labor market impact assessment, also called an LMIA for short, we can then apply for your work permit to Canada. These work permits are usually issued for 1 to 2 years, depending on your level of skill and the level of skill of the position. And then that gives you a work permit where you can only work for that employer, which then allows you, usually after 1 year, to transition to permanent residency. So study permits or work permits are temporary permits that are great ways for Indian nationals to first come to Canada and then maximize your chances of transitioning to permanent residency. A lot of people ask me, what kind of documentation should I start getting ready in advance of my application? So there are a few different things that you can get ready. Of course, whether you're applying for temporary applications or permanent residency will make this documentation differ a little bit. But in general, you should always have your educational documents ready. 99% of educational documents in India are issued in English, but your 10th and 12th certificates, as well as any post-secondary that you've completed, should be prepared. I often have my clients prepare and get their WES evaluation done or through another ECA company. So this is your educational credential assessment report, which shows your Canadian equivalency for your education. Another document that I like all of my Indian nationals to have done are your IELTS. So whether you're applying for a work permit, for a study permit, or permanent residency, you'll either need your general or your academic IELTS in order to show that you're eligible for that program. I also like to make sure that you include your police clearances from India. I include them with all temporary applications and of course permanent residency applications to show that you have a clear criminality record when you're applying for immigration. And then lastly, medicals, even if they're not required because maybe you haven't lived in a country where they're required, I always have my clients do a medical when applying for temporary, and of course you need them for permanent residency applications. So in 2022, just to resume, you can create an express entry profile and potentially apply through some of the provinces for PNP applications. I also recommend that you strategize and try to maximize your chances of success by coming on a study permit or a work permit. If you have any questions about how to immigrate in 2022 to Canada from India, please do not hesitate to get in touch. We are online at calverimmigrationservices.com.